Good evening, councilors. We're going to get started with our regular city council meeting. The city council will convene this evening, Thursday, July 11th, 2024, to hold a regular meeting. Public participation to this meeting is provided in person and remotely via Zoom in accordance with Mass General Law. This meeting is being broadcast by Peabody TV. Remote participation can be accessed through the Zoom link on the city website. This meeting is also being recorded by the city council stenographer. Please join me in a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. You heard the motion by Councilor Gould. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilors, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to receive item 7B out of order.
So moved.
Thank you. 7B is an appointment by the mayor. Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Madam President. Good evening to you. Good evening, councilors. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm here today to bring forward for hopeful approval, the appointment of Jacqueline Ciardi as the Recreation Supervisor position. Unfortunately, she was unable to be here today. She said she'd be happy to come to a future meeting. She is already employed, doing a great job. We've been a little short-handed in the department due to a sickness. And Jacqueline has hit the ground running. She's very familiar with the city of Peabody. She's worked with us for the past 7 years, since May of 2017, doing outdoor education during the summers for the Peabody Recreation Department. The last couple of years, she's been a full-time teacher over in Revere in elementary, 5th grade, has outstanding education, as you can see from her resume. And she's very familiar with the inner workings of the city of Peabody and has been an asset now for a number of years. And I think she's more than capable to take up this additional work. And she's already doing a terrific job. So a lot happening in our summer programming. And with Cameron White, who we just appointed a few months ago, and now with Jacqueline, we have 2 strong members of the team making things happen for our children. And doing some wonderful things. So I apologize she was unable to be here today, but she definitely can come. I think she's met a number of you already over the years, but she'll be able to come to a future meeting to introduce herself. But we just wanted to try to move forward with the appointment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Is there any councilors who would like to comment? No? Seeing Councilor Gould?
Best of luck.
I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. Oh. Okay. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, if there's no objection, I'd move approval on Jacqueline Ciardi, 38 Exchange Street, Lynn, Mass. 01901, position Recreation Supervisor, term to expire 12/31/24, 1-year term. So moved.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Gamache,
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Manny Martin, Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Moving on to the hearings this evening. Hearing 4A is Award 3 matter, so Councilor Manning Martin will chair, and the clerk will read the notice.
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Peabody, acting as the special permit granting authority, will conduct a public hearing on Thursday evening, July 11th, 2024, at 7:30 p.m. in the Frank L. Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass., and remotely via Zoom on the application from Chris Guerrero, 120 Dedham Boulevard, Dedham, Mass., for a special permit to allow the use of the space as a laundromat at 118-120 Central Street, Peabody, Mass., as filed in accordance with Sections 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody zoning ordinance. For remote participation using the Zoom platform, please visit www.peabody-ma.gov under Calendar on the homepage or contact the City Clerk's office. Peabody City Council, Councilor Stephanie R. Peach, City Council President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Good evening. Would you state your name and address into the record and tell us what you'd like to do this evening?
Good evening. My name is Chris Guerrero. My address is 120 Dedham Boulevard, Dedham, 02026, and I would love to open a laundromat.
Okay, and
Sorry. Maria Guerrero, 5 Neponset Ave, Hyde Park, Mass. 02136. Same, I'm her sister.
very nice, thank you. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of the petitioner? Anyone in the audience to speak in favor of the petitioner? Anyone in favor? Anyone on Zoom? No one on Zoom. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Anyone on Zoom in opposition? Nobody on Zoom. Councilor Peach.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I had the opportunity to touch base with the applicants who are looking to open a laundromat at 118 to 120 Central Street. So if you're familiar with the area, half of this building was a laundromat and the other half was a smoke shop. Before it was a smoke shop, it was a laundromat. So this is just expanding the use of that part of the building to be one coherent laundromat with a self-service and a wash-fold service. I have no objection to this. Their hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., which fall in line with many of the other laundromats in the area. So with that, I'll turn it over to other counselors if they have any questions.
Thank you, Councilor Peach. Open it up to the council. Councilor Gamache.
Yes, I just want to refer that the taxes were paid in full. There was an objection for that from the tax collector, but that has been paid in full. And the applicant does have the receipt from the city treasurer. Thank you.
If anyone says.
Thank you, Councilor Gamache. Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. I wish you well.
Thank you.
It's been a long time since there's been a business in that building.
So we should expect you to stop by?
I'm sorry?
You'll be stopping by.
I didn't hear. Yes, well, yeah, I'll stop by and say hello. My wife doesn't let me do any laundry, so. But I wish you well. I mean, it's good. It's a nice, vibrant area that you're coming into. It'd be nice to get a facelift on that building, and if I can be of any help, please let me know. I live in that area, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman.
Thank you, Councilor Gould. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through you to Councilor Peach. Is the parking in the back of that building for that establishment?
So I did ask that for the applicant. There are 2 designated spots along the side of that building specifically for the laundromat.
Perfect. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Any other councilors, any comments or questions? Being none, Councilor Peach.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing. Comments? Being none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Peach.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, I move to approve the special permit application to allow the use of the space as a laundromat. The application from Chris Guerrero to use the space as a laundromat at 118 to 120 Central Street, Peabody, Mass. is filed in accordance with Section 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody zoning ordinance, with the condition of hours of operation Monday through Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So moved.
You heard the motion. Remarks on the motion? Being none, roll call.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rossignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Peach. Motion carries 11-0.
Congratulations. Welcome to Peabody.
Thank you, Counselor.
I'm sure you'll do well.
Thank you.
so much.
All right, moving on to hearing 4B, special permit for McGovern Auto Group Corp. Services, Inc. The clerk will read the notice.
Notice is hereby given that the City Council of the City of Peabody, acting as the special permit granting authority, will conduct a public hearing on Thursday evening, July 11th, 2024, at 7:30 p.m. in the Frank L. Wigan Auditorium, 24 Lowell Street, Peabody, Mass., and remotely via Zoom on the application from McGovern Auto Group Corp. Services, Inc., 777 Washington Street, Newton, Mass., for a special permit to allow automotive sales, sales of tires or other motor vehicle accessories, and the storage of undamaged and operable vehicles and automotive repairs, provided all work is carried on inside a building at 64 and 70 Andover Street, Danvers, Mass., Lot 29, Parcel 1, Peabody, Mass., as filed in accordance with Sections 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody zoning ordinance. For remote participation using the Zoom platform, please visit www.pbd-ma.gov under Calendar on the homepage or contact the City Clerk's office. Peabody City Council, Councilor Stephanie R. Peach, City Council President.
Thank you. Would you please introduce yourself, state your name and address for the record, and tell us what you'd like to do?
My name is David Ankleys. I'm an attorney representing the applicant in this matter. I practice law now at 99 Rosewood Drive in Danvers, where our office is moved. And I'd like to try to address you and be as brief as possible, considering the heat here tonight and what you've been through up to this point in time. The applicant is McGovern Auto Group Corp. Services. McGovern is requesting a special permit to allow the redevelopment of the properties located at 64 and 70 Andover Street for purpose of an automotive dealership. Specifically, motor vehicle sales, the sale of tires and/or motor vehicle accessories, the storage of undamaged and operable vehicles, and automotive repairs inside a building with 3 new dealership buildings and associated inventory storage. This is a use allowed by special permit in Section 4.2.5 of the zoning ordinance. The properties are located on Route 114 in the business BR district. The existing site consists of 2 properties known as Kane's Flower World, 64 Andover Street, and the abutting property at 70 Andover Street, which has been the location of several used car dealerships. The combined property contains approximately 246,636 square feet, approximately 5.7 acres of land in Danvers, and an additional 148,197 square feet, or 3.3 acres in Peabody, for a total development site of 394,833 square feet, about 9 acres. The existing greenhouses and retail buildings located on the property will be removed. Those curb cuts, there are 4 there, will be reduced to 2 on a recently modified plan at the request of the Department of Transportation. I should inform you that all curb cuts on Route 114 are subject to approval by the Department of Transportation. We had originally 4 to 5 curb cuts. They were reduced to 3, and then DOT, in consultation with our engineers and the town of Danvers, reduced the curb cuts to 2 in number. It should also be noted that the town of Danvers, the Board of Selectmen, and the City of Peabody City Council have waived the municipality's right of first refusal regarding Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 61A. In other words, we're converting an exempt or a tax-exempt use to a taxable use. And the city had, because this is not a sale but is a ground lease, the city had an option to purchase the property at a fair market value price. Both the town of Danvers and the City of Peabody have waived that option. The development as we have designed it meets all dimensional and density requirements of the Danvers and Peabody zoning ordinance as shown on the plan submitted with our application. Adequate parking is provided on site adjacent to the showrooms. Covered vehicle service drop-off areas are provided, resulting in circulation through the customer area of the site that is well-defined and appropriately designed. Outdoor vehicle sales are provided along the site frontage in Danvers. However, the majority of the inventory space provided behind the dealership buildings at the rear of the site behind the dealership is in Peabody. Approximately 99.5% of the buildings are in Danvers. A very, very small corner of one building is in Peabody. The balance, which is the parking area, is in Peabody. The site plan designates an ample area for vehicle transporters to enter and proceed to the rear of the site to offload vehicles. I want to emphasize that. The site has been designed to accommodate transporter vehicles so that no unloading will occur off-site at any time on Andover Street. There is no outdoor audio involved. It should be noted that there are no residential neighbors, and the attached application, attached to the application that I've submitted, you'll find the unanimous approval that we received on site plan review by the Peabody Planning Board, during which we had construction review meetings with all of the departments of the city of Peabody, the police, utilities, electric, conservation, health department, etc. During those kind of construction reviews, the only issues that arose were a request to erect perhaps a construction fence along the rear of the building during the course of demolition so that we protected any and all trees or vegetation that might be on Brooksby Farm, which abuts the property to the rear. In addition, there is a copy of the unanimous approval by both the Danvers Board of Selectmen and the Danvers Planning Board with regard to the special permit that was required in Danvers. The dealerships are a Hyundai and Genesis dealership and a third dealership that is still to be named. The parking, as I recall, is 154 spaces for customers and employees. There are 75 employees. The balance is the balance of the parking spaces are well in excess of 500 for purposes of storage of inventory. During the winter, if necessary, 15% of those spaces can be set aside for snow storage. The impervious area currently on the property is going to be reduced by in excess of 10%. That means we're going to have an increase of pervious area in excess of 525 plants and trees are going to be planted for purposes of landscaping the property, and the front of the building is going to be heavily landscaped along Andover Street. Of course, that's in Danvers. Other than that, I think you should be aware of the fact that we have submitted a lighting plan that has been acceptable to all the parties. I can't think of anything else that might be of concern. Drainage is approved by DOT. Curb cuts are approved and limited by DOT. And we have been in consultation with the engineers in Danvers and DOT throughout the permitting process in Danvers. All of that has been approved to this point in time. There is one modification that DOT asked us to initiate, and that's with the two curb cuts that we have. The westerly curb cut would allow for both a left and right-hand turn, and they have asked us to limit the easterly curb cut to a right-hand turn only, eliminating a left-hand turn. And we have agreed and done that in conjunction with the engineers in Danvers. I think that's about it. I don't want to go on and on. I believe it's been a hot night, and I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the audience to speak in favor? Anyone on Zoom? Anyone in the audience to speak in opposition? Anyone on Zoom? Seeing none, Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam President. Motion to receive late communication 4.
You heard the motion to receive late 4. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam President. I spoke with Attorney Ankelis at length, pretty much a repetition of the thorough presentation he just gave us, and in summary, this has been, essentially, it's a Danvers project and vetted through not only the Board of Selectmen, but their planning board and approved by Danvers. So part of my motion would be to set contingent on setting forth the conditions with the town of Danvers that's included in our packet. But again, they've gone through the Board of Selectmen, the Planning Board, they went through Peabody Site Plan Review, MIPA, DOT, and essentially this is for some parking on 114 in Danvers, in Peabody, abutting the Danvers lot. So the only other open-ended issue that I will condition is the comment made by Conservation. Attorney Ankelis assures me that there are no wetlands or man-made holes, but I am going to make a condition just to cover the city, especially abutting a farm, that any abutting wetlands be delineated before any work commences. And Attorney Ankelis and I have talked about that. So I'll open it up for any other questions if Attorney Ankelis forgot to answer anything, and then I'm prepared to make a motion. Thank you.
Any other councilors? Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. There was a public hearing on this a few months ago, and it was a virtual hearing. I see you nodding, Madam President. Were you also on that? Anyway, I was on it, and Mr. Bellavance was on it from Community Development as well. And the one thing that they kept making reference to on the Peabody portion was that there'd be some, this is the Peabody portion of this all abuts Brooksby Farm, and that there would be some trees planted along that to create a buffer. They can't plant them on their property because there's a gas line there, there's a gas right-of-way there, but there seemed to be agreement from the applicant to plant that buffer on the Brooksby Farm property, working with the city, obviously, to locate those properly. So in looking through this, I didn't see that on there, and it probably makes sense that it's not on there, because we're asking, it would be something, you don't normally mark things on a plan that aren't on the property, so these are on Peabody property. But I just want to make sure that doesn't get lost here, that buffer will be planted. I would hope, if that's not already in your conditions, Councilor Daigle, that you'd be open to adding that. But I'd like to hear what the applicant has to say about that.
If I may, Councilor, we consulted with the people that are operating Brooksby Farm, and we did make that offer, and we were ready to plant whatever they wanted us to plant. They asked us not to do so. They did not want anything other than what is there on the farm. We did consent to erect, if necessary, a construction fence during the course of demolition, so the dust, et cetera, wouldn't go there. But we're ready to offer them whatever they want, if in fact they do want trees. But we were told from those people that were operating the farm at the time that they did not want us to plant anything else up there.
Thank you. Madam President, through you to the applicant. So who specifically declined that?
Excuse me, the lady that is now operating Brooksby up there, and she indicated that she didn't want us to. It really makes no difference to us. We've offered, and if they want it, we'll do it, but we were told not to do it.
It seemed to be like a relatively big deal at the time of the public hearing, so I'd prefer to leave it in there as a condition, and if they opt to decline that going forward, then so be it. Yeah. But I'm not sure that the pushback they got on that was from the rate necessarily from the right players, so.
That's fine.
It sounds like they're very much agreeable to doing it. It was part of the original plan, and I just would prefer not to see that one not get lost. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. Any other councilors? Seeing none, Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam President. So I would, as part of that, which is new to me, thank you, Councilor McGinn, I would include a condition that buffer trees be planted within the Brooksby Farm area if needed. Subject to approval by the firm. All right, I am prepared to make a motion to close the public hearing.
You heard the motion to close the public hearing. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Daigle.
I would like to make a motion to approve the application for McGovern Auto Group Corporation Services, Inc., 777 Washington Street, Newton, Mass., for a special permit to allow automotive sales set forth in conditions with the town of Danvers for the sale of tires and other motor vehicle accessories and the storage of undamaged and operable vehicles and automotive repairs, provided all work is carried on inside a building and Building 64 and 70 Andover Street, Danvers, Mass., Lot 029, Parcel 001, Peabody, Massachusetts, is filed in accordance with Sections 4.2.5, 6.1, and 15.7 of the Peabody zoning ordinance, with a condition that any abutting wetlands be delineated before any work commences, and that the buffer trees be planted within Brooksby Farm, subject to their approval, if necessary. So moved.
Councilor Daigle, for clarification for the clerk, can you just point out what document contains the Danvers conditions in our packet, document or documents, so it can be referenced?
I'm going to defer to Attorney Ankeles. The grant for a special permit application for 64 and 70 Andover Street. Page, it's not numbered, 1 of this large packet from the town of Danvers. It's dated or posted on April 26th, 2024. It's the document right after the planning board approval from Peabody.
It's, it's entitled Grant a Special Permit for 64 and 70 Andover Street, posted April 26, 2024, Town Clerk, Danvers. And the date of the application is March 18, date of the hearing April 23rd, and date of decision April 23rd, all in 2024, I believe.
Thank you. We have located the list of conditions. You heard the motion by Councilor Daigle. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Gamache, McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes,
Motion carries 11-0.
Thank you very much.
thank you. Councilors, we are going to go out of order, if there's no objection, to the report from ICD.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, Madam President. There was a lively discussion tonight about changing the zoning regulation by adding a special permit, multifamily in a GB zoning district. There were a number of instances where GB is throughout the city. Mr. Bellavance and Mr. Kelty had met several times to try to hammer out some language that would be acceptable by the council. Most councilors thought that the concept was good, but did not want to change the zoning amendment throughout the city. There was a negative vote to not move forward on the amendment, and the attorney withdrew. There was a 5-0 withdrawal, 5-0 vote on accepting the withdrawal. So moved. I bring it now forth for the full body.
Councilors, you heard the motion to allow a withdrawal of the zoning amendment, which is item 4C, to allow the applicant to withdraw without prejudice. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Welton,
Yes.
Melville,
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes.
Daigle,
Yes.
Manning Martin,
Yes.
Higgins,
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Gould. That is it. All right. Thank you. No, we'll go to reports of committee. Yeah. Councilor McGinn for the Ad Hoc Committee on Energy Efficiency.
Thank you, Madam President. The Ad Hoc Committee on Energy Efficiency and Renewable Energy met earlier this evening. Present for the committee were Councilors Gould and Higgins and myself as chair. Also present were Councilors Peach, Daigle, Manning Martin, and Turco. We had one item on the agenda, which was an update on Peabody's Green Community Program participation, and that was presented to us by the Director of Community Development, Mr. Bellavance. He recapped that the city had submitted the application to the state in December of 2023 by the deadline, and that the formal green community status was granted in April of 2024. Along with that approval came a $271,560 designation grant, and Mr. Bellavance explained the plan to spend that money. An assessment of city-owned buildings has been conducted, and his department has been working along with facilities, with National Grid on heating issues, and with PMLP on lighting issues. He has worked with Director of Facilities, Mr. Hafey, to prioritize the weatherization list that was developed. Certain buildings were lower on priority because of the large expense and uncertainty of the future use of the building. Examples of that would be the police department, current police station, and the current high school. To give an example of one of the buildings that they do plan to move forward on is the weatherization work to be done at City Hall. That estimated cost in total will be about $54,000, and of that, approximately $34,000 will be funded by National Grid, and the remaining $20,000 will come from the Green Communities Fund. They are looking at projects for lighting at the senior center. They believe there's going to be a good payback on that work, and they are trying to maximize the benefit of working with the grant funding available from National Grid. They're also looking at heat pumps potentially for some of the buildings. They overall have detailed this out and will submit the grant spending plan next week to the state that needs to authorize the spending. Work in the schools will take advantage of the summer break and will take place over the summer, and is estimated will result in savings of $25,000. Because this initial designation grant money will not be spent fully by September, the City of Peabody will miss the September competitive grant round under the Green Communities Program, but we should have the money spent and should be in position to reapply in the spring round, which takes place in the March-April timeframe. Council Gould wanted to acknowledge that Ron and Sudi Smola were present at the meeting. The mayor added comments that community development would continue to head up this effort and working in conjunction with the facilities department. and we asked that Mr. Bellavance come back periodically to provide progress reports, and I plan as chairman to coordinate with him on the frequency of those updates to the council. So this item will stay in committee ongoing for the purpose of receiving those periodic updates. Madam President, there were no motions, and that is the report of committee. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. The report of the Legal Affairs Committee, Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Legal Affairs met earlier this evening. In attendance was Councilor Daigle, Councilor Higgins, Councilor Melville, Councilor Turkle, as well as all other councilors. We had one item on the agenda. It was Casco Road. As we all know, and as we discussed at length earlier, there is some significant and troubling safety concerns regarding that entrance. I think I know a number of councilors feel that way, and that was expressed during the subcommittee meeting. There were two motions out of the subcommittee. First motion was to receive late 3. I now bring that before the council. So moved.
You heard the motion to receive late 3. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Rossignol.
Thank you, Madam President. Regarding late 3, that was a memo sent from the City of Lynn regarding the ability this council has with putting restrictions on that dangerous intersection. So where this was a late communication, and Attorney Khan just got it more or less at 2 o'clock this afternoon, even though this has been a topic of discussion for 2 years, and there was a meeting back in April between the two mayors, this was just brought forward today. So Attorney Khan will be looking into the legality of this memo and any possible proceedings that we may have to do moving forward. The second motion that was brought out of subcommittee was to continue to move forward unless Attorney Khan has to come back and have us change gears. But the motion was to amend, draft, and advertise Section 1931, streets on which left turns prohibited, by adding number 8, Casco Road entering Linfield Street, and 9, Linfield Street entering Casco Road. I now bring that to the council. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion by Councilor Rossignol. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor Rossignol.
Just briefly, so this is to draft and advertise. If Attorney Khan comes back with anything further, then we would have to amend that, but that won't be until August. That's a report of committee. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Rossignol. Before we move on to motions, orders, and resolutions, I just wanted to introduce our new Assistant City Clerk. Stacy Patarelli started with us relatively recently. I think many councilors already know Stacy, but I wanted to welcome her to the council as this is her first official meeting. Thank you. All right, motions, orders, and resolution. Oh, Councilor Welton has something to say.
Thank you, Madam President. Just point of order, do we have to do anything with 4C? I know that didn't come out of committee, but we're good there?
Yeah, so we took the ICD report out of order so that we could accept that withdrawal. So that's all set.
Thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item late 1 and approve all papers being in order.
You heard the motion to receive late 1 and approve. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item late 2 and approve all papers being in order.
You heard the motion to receive late 2. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive and approve item late 5, all papers being in order.
You heard the motion by Councilor Turco to receive late 5 and approve all papers being in order. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. If Counsel Daigle would like to recuse herself, I'll take item 8B. Or do you need to, Counsel? It's to set up a public hearing for 58 Mills.
Thank you, Counselor. Yeah, I will step out and recuse myself.
Oh, you know what? I just realized that's yours, so I'm actually taking it on behalf of you, but yes. Sorry, Madam President.
For the record, Counselor Daigle's recusing herself from this vote. Counselor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 8B and set up a public hearing. Martino Grill LLC, 58 Pulaski Street, for a special permit.
You heard the motion. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Turco.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive and approve item 9B, taxi driver's license, Rex Kent, license number 6.
You heard the motion to receive item 9B. Any discussion? All in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Turco.
No further motions.
Thank you. Counselor Rossignol.
No motions this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Welton.
Thank you, Madam President. No motions this evening. I would like to just thank everybody who came out for the Ward 1 4th of July festivities. It was a great day. Had a number of councilors also stop by, so thanks for making the time for that. Huge thanks to all of our volunteers and for all the families and everyone who made it an extra special day. So looking forward to next year already, starting to plan, and Harry Welton will be defending his back-to-back-to-back pie eating contest championship next year if you'd like to take him on. No other motions this evening. Thank you so much. Hope everyone has a great summer.
Thank you. Counselor Melville.
No motions this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Gamache.
Yes, thank you, Madam President. At this time, on the suspension of the rule, I'd like to go to number 9A, block party requests for 28, 30, and 31 Donna Street for August 17th, and 5 to 8 Glen Drive, July 27th. Move approval, all papers being in order.
You heard the motion by Counselor Gamache. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Counselor Gamache.
This time, I move under suspension of the rules to go to item 10A, ready for council adoption, an ordinance amending Section 2 entitled Administration and Section 1821, and entitled Schedule of Compensation for Full-Time Positions Not Subject to Collective Bargaining of the Code of the City of Peabody. This one is the Assistant Director of Facilities, and I will read the ordinance. An ordinance be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Peabody as follows. Section 1, that the code
Counselor Gamache, the clerk informed me you don't need to read the ordinance if you don't want to.
Oh, I don't want to.
I know you don't, so.
So I move to accept as submitted. So move.
The motion on the floor is to adopt and adopt as advertised.
As advertised.
10A, which is the Assistant Director of Facilities. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
No.
Higgins.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 10 to 1.
Counselor Gamache.
Yes, under suspension of the rules, I will move to go to item 10B, which is an ordinance amending Section 2 titled Administration, Sections 18-21, entitled Schedule of Compensation for Full-Time Positions Not Subject to Collective Bargaining of the Code of the City of Peabody, and this is for the Assistant Clerk of Elections. Move approval as advertised.
You heard the motion by Counselor Gamache. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 11 to 0. Thank you, councilors.
Thank you. Counselor Gamache.
Yes, I would, under suspension of the rules, move to item 10C, which is an ordinance amending Section 11 titled Finance and Sections 18-21 entitled Schedule of Compensation for Full-Time Positions Not Subject to Collective Bargaining Agreement of the Code of the City of Peabody. This one is for the Assistant City Auditor. Move approval as advertised and submitted. So move.
You heard the motion by Counselor Gamache. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco.
Yes.
Rossignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
No.
Higgins.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 10 to 1.
Counselor Gamache.
This time I move under suspension of rules, go to item 10D, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 23 entitled Police of the Code of the City of Peabody. And this is to allow, do you want me to read this one, or just to, okay, I would move approval as published and submitted. So moved.
You heard the motion to adopt as advertised. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Counselor Gamache.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of rules, move to item 10E, an ordinance amending section 18-20 entitled Schedule of Compensation for Part-Time Positions, and section 18-21 entitled Rates of Compensation for Full-Time Positions Not Subject to Collective Bargaining. And this one is for the payment of the positions that have been advertised. I move approval.
You heard the motion to adopt as advertised. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
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 Thank you,
Counselor
Madam
Gamache.
President. No further motions.
Thank you. Counselor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, move to receive item 7A. Madam President, on the motion, this is a very routine matter. It's a cable funds transfer. It would be beneficial to Peabody TV if we were able to act on this tonight. If there's any objection to that, I certainly can refer it to committee, but I'd like to receive it, and I'd like to act on it. So right now, the motion is going to be just to receive it, and then I'll wait to hear if anybody objects.
Thank you, Councilor McGinn. Councilors, you heard the motion to receive 7A. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. I'm going to move to approve the transfer requests from receipts reserve cable fund, account number 270-0000-33017, an amount of $120,000 to cable fund expense, account number 270-0000-53007, and an amount of $120,000. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, roll call vote.
Councilors Turco,
Yes.
Rozignol.
Yes.
Welton.
Yes.
Melville.
Yes.
Gamache.
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Gould.
Yes.
Daigle.
Yes.
Manning Martin.
Yes.
Higgins.
Yes.
Peach.
Yes.
Motion carries 11-0.
Councilor McGinn.
Thank you, Madam President. Along the lines of what Councilor Welton said a few moments ago, I'd like to thank all our volunteers in Ward 2 on the July 4th. It was a really great gathering, and couldn't do it without the volunteers and the folks that, some of the businesses that sponsored. So thank you so much for those that make that happen every year. And beyond that, welcome to Stacy, and no further motions.
Thank you. Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam President, I'd just also like to welcome Stacy to the team. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Councilor Daigle.
Thank you, Madam President. Under suspension of the rules, I move to receive item 8A and forward it along to the Peabody Police Department.
You heard the motion to receive 8A and forward to the Police Department. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor, any opposed? It's a vote. Councilor Daigle.
And I would like to welcome Stacy as well. You have a good team and a good leader, so if you need anything, let us know. Thank you. That's all.
Thank you. Councilor Manning Martin.
Thank you, Madam Chair. No motions, but I did want to thank and commend all the ward councilors for all their work on the 4th. It was a great day. I made it to a few of them, and it seemed as though there were hundreds and hundreds of people out. So thank you to the ward councilors and their families for the commitment and sacrifice that it takes to give up your 4th every year for that very important event to the kids and the families of Peabody. So I thank you for that.
Thank you. Councilor Higgins.
I have no motions or resolutions for this evening, but I'd like to thank the Parks and Recs Department and the DPS Department, the Mayor's Office, for all the help and support for the 4th of July celebration. We had a fantastic turnout. I'd like to thank all the volunteers in Ward 6 that helped out as well. Thank you.
Thank you. I would also like to thank all the volunteers we had on the 4th. It was an excellent turnout. Weather was much better this year. Yes, it was. It was a fantastic turnout, and it's not possible without our volunteers or our business sponsors. So just a public thank you to them. I've also been informed that today is our colleague Tom and Sharon's 42nd wedding anniversary, so I wish them 42 more years. And with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn so he can go have some cake. We are adjourned.